Hi Beach Church, my name is Michael and I'm one of the pastors here. And this is video 3 of our 3-part series on how to share the gospel. We've looked at why we share the gospel already, the mission of God that we're a part of. We've looked at the examples of how do we share the faith. But now we want to really look at what are the things that hold us back in being able to do so. And really the question is, what do we fear in stepping out and sharing our faith with others? Because we all deal with differing fears of some kind when it comes to actually taking a relationship with someone into actually presenting the gospel with them. And so we want to talk about those and talk about how do we overcome those to be more confident to do this. The first fear we're going to talk about is the fear of that I don't know enough, right? Everybody has that kind of lingering fear of some kind that I don't know enough about the Bible. I don't know enough about God. What if they ask me a difficult question and I don't know the answers? There's that fear, and many times it can cripple us from even stepping out. But here's the reality. There's always going to be things that we don't know. There's always going to be more we can learn. But here's the truth of the matter is that we can just really walk in humility and just say, I don't know. We have that opportunity to show someone it's not about how much you know. But this also allows us to step out with that person and say, I don't know, but you know what? Could we work on an answer together? Could we go and learn? And you can invite this person to actually learn with you. And you can discuss things, read things together, do whatever it is that is necessary so that not only they come to an understanding, but you get to come to an understanding as well. Because we don't want to be held back from just feeling that we don't know. But this gives us that opportunity because in essence, we also have the opportunity to grow in our learning. Right now, we live in a time where there are more resources than we know what to do with that are free, online. So if there's ever a time you come across something that you don't know, you can easily look it up or learn or read or watch videos. There's so many resources that we have that we can use right now. And every time we get the opportunity to do that, it actually helps us grow in our own personal faith. So it's not just about how do we export this out to others, but we get to build up our faith as well. So it's a win either way. The second main fear we're going to talk about is the fear of rejection, right? You spend a lot of time investing in a relationship with someone, but then you get to that place where you know the invitation is there, and the fear can come in that, well, what if this ruins that relationship? Or what if this person is offended by what I say? Or what if they just outright reject me for sharing the faith with them? And in essence, there is always a possibility of that. Because you know what, relationships are inherent with risk. We all risk something when we enter into a relationship with anybody. But you know what, in this case, us risking that rejection is a risk that we have to be willing to take because we know on the other side of that, this person has a chance to actually learn and to enter into the greatest relationship they'll ever have. And if we don't take that risk, we also don't give them that opportunity at all. We also have to understand that rejecting the message that we give is not the same as rejecting you as a person. You know, there's lots of reasons people might not be receptive to hearing the gospel, but that doesn't have to be about us. That we can rest in the identity that God has given us and rest in the confidence that we are loved by God, and that just because someone doesn't agree doesn't mean that we have to have our own personal faith derailed or limited. We have to understand that we have then the opportunity to continue just praying and investing in that person. It doesn't have to change the relationship because you can continue loving and being the hands and feet of Jesus for that person. So the conversation and the relationship isn't ended. It just needs to continue moving forward. And there may be a future time you're able to continue asking them these questions and presenting this relationship to them. So we all have fears, and these are probably the two most common that we would deal with, but we have the opportunity to do something more than that. And we have to remember that faith is not absent of fear, that when we have faith, it's actually when fear comes around, faith just means I'm willing to step through that fear because I trust that Jesus is greater than the fear that I have. And so just because you have fear doesn't mean that you're not walking in faith. It's just an opportunity to walk through that fear and trust that God is the one delivering this message. This is what I want to leave you with in 1 Timothy 1:7. It says, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. The spirit that God gave us does not let us walk in fear, that He's faithful to give us love and power and self-discipline. He is more than enough to help meet us where we're at, to meet the person that you're investing in where they're at. And His faithfulness is what we're leaning on through this. So again, as you do this and you walk out, step out in that faith, be the church where you're at, and trust that God is who He says He is and rest on His promises.